Here is another expression that we want to simplify. 4 over y minus 2 over y minus 2. So we want to ensure that we have a common denominator. Alright? So we have y and we have y minus 2. So we need a common denominator. What can we let our common denominator be? Well, we can just use the product of the denominators. Good? For the common denominator. So we can use y times y minus 2 as a common denominator. So I can make this, I can multiply this by y. Now if I multiply the denominator by y, I also need to multiply the numerator by y, as we know by now. Now I need this denominator to be the same as this, and what can I do to make it the same? Yes? Multiply it by y minus 2. Which means I have to do the same thing to the numerator. Whatever I multiply to the denominator, I have to multiply the same thing to the numerator. Now you will recognize that now we have a common denominator of y times y minus 2. So we can just there make it the same. It's the same denominator. And we can simplify our numerator now by expanding brackets. So this is 4 times y. 4y and 4 times minus 2. That's minus 8. The other one, y times 2, is just same thing as 2 times y. Negative 2y. So usually we just let the denominator remain because we don't know the value of y. So we just leave it as is. And we group the terms up here. Here we have 4y group with minus 2y. So 4y take away 2y. That's positive 2y. And the negative 8, there's no other constant to group it with. And that's the best we can do with it. Here we have another problem. 2a over b minus 5a over b. We want to simplify. So again, look, we cannot add the numerators or subtract numerators because the denominators are different. So we need to make them the same. And you recognize that this denominator is 4b. So we want this to be 4b also. So we can multiply this denominator by 4. But because we multiply the denominator by 4, we also need to do the same to the numerator for the fraction to remain equivalent. So now this denominator is 4b. And 4 times 2a, that's 8a. This we need not trouble this one, it's for 4b and 5a. Now they are the same, so we can now group numerators because we have one common denominator. So this is 8a minus 5a. So our final answer was 8a minus 5a. That's 3a over 4b. And that's our solution. Here we have another one. Again, denominators are different, so we need to make them the same. LCM is 10, so let's make both of them 10. To make this one 10, we need to multiply it by 5, right? Which means we need to do the same to the numerator. And for this one, we need to make it 10, so we need to multiply by 2. And of course, we also need to multiply the numerator by 2 for the fraction to remain equivalent. So we have one common denominator of 10. Let's put everything there. So we can put the numerators together. Expand this bracket. 5 times x. That's 5x. 5 times minus 2. That's minus 10. Here. Minus 2 we're expanding by. So minus 2 times x. That's minus 2x. And minus 2 times minus 1. Remember, negative times negative. So hence we get plus 2. Alright. So group in the like terms, group in the x terms. So we have 5x. Negative 2x is the other x term. The constants now we have minus 10. And positive 2 is the other constant, right? So therefore, our final answer, 5x take away 2x, that's 3x. And negative 10 plus 2, that's negative 8. And that's our solution.